Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us on the undercard press conference for a fantastic night of boxing that we're all really looking forward to. My name's Jo Ankia, and I'm joined by the 4 opening fights for the televised section, starting with the free-to-view fights with Carolit, Italma and Royston, Barney, here to my right. And then the pay-per-view kicks off at 7 p.m. with Tommy Fury and David Adeleye. 94,000 people in attendance, a record at Wembley, a European record as well for a boxing fight. And these gentlemen will have the most incredible opportunity to showcase their talents to the world. So let's begin by having a chat with Francis Warren, who, of course, has been integral at putting this show together. Francis, we had a successful press conference yesterday. Dillian Whyte showed up. Tyson Fury and himself, they had some laughs. They exchanged a few words. There was a bit of animosity towards the end, some banter. It's all coming together. There's been some last-minute changes, but you and your dad seem to have pulled it off. How are you all feeling?
I mean, it's been a great week so far, I think. And yesterday's press conference, it was great to see Dillon here. Both guys seem in pretty good spirits, and I'd rather focus on the positives yesterday than the 30 seconds of where it nearly went a little bit. But I think on the whole, this week has been very intriguing. I thought all the guys looked fantastic at the workout on Tuesday, and the reaction from the public and the press has been fantastic. I want to thank all you guys for giving it your wholehearted support this week as well. And looking forward to a fantastic undercard on Saturday as well with these guys that get to be showcased on the biggest stage in world boxing.
Tell me a little bit about the thinking behind the undercard. We've got 7 fights on television, the type of fights you wanted to put on, and the type of boxers you wanted to give this huge opportunity to.
Well, it's all about showcasing the best talent we've got, from within our stable, and I believe as well, certainly in this country and maybe beyond. It's we've got some fantastic young talent set up on this table, some future world champions sitting here, and it's really a good opportunity for them to set a mark as to where they are in their careers, and obviously to look around Wembley Stadium with all those fans in there to give them something to aspire to, not just winning a world title, but maybe one day being here themselves.
Absolutely. One of the things that has come up recently, Carl Frampton, who will be on the BT Sport panel this week, has mentioned that both Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte fought on his undercards in the past. So it just gives you a sense of just realization that any of these gentlemen, and I'm sure that's what's in your and Frank's minds, could be up there headlining and go on to be as big of a name as Tyson or Dillon.
I totally agree. I think if anything from yesterday's press conference you can take is that both Tyson and Dillon fully respect each other, and they fully respect that the hard work that each of them have put in throughout their careers, ups and downs and lumps and bumps the whole way through. But to be where they are on Saturday surely must it must rub off on these young fighters that are here today, and make the most of it, guys, because it's going to be one hell of an event.
Absolutely. So let's turn our attention to the first televised fight of the evening. Carolit, Italma, on my left down here. Youth Olympic gold medalist, decorated amateur, unbeaten professional, a light heavyweight 4-round fight against Poland's Michael Siach. Carol, first of all, how does it feel to be opening the televised show? Big responsibility.
It sure is. Like, for example, looking back at it now, I joined Queensbury 2 years ago now. We'll be 2 years this year, and they've been nothing but good to me and my team. So I'm grateful for the opportunity that they've presented to us. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Francis. And thank you to all the Queensbury staff, because it is something I'm going to take with both my hands, and it's going to only push me forward. Okay,
and you've had 4 stoppages in your last 6 fights, quickly becoming known as a powerful boxer. Michael Siach from Poland. Polish fighters can be aggressive. What kind of fight are you looking for? What kind of statement do you want to make?
Yeah, so each fight I just feel like I'm getting better, I'm getting bigger, I'm getting stronger, and that's what it's all about. Each fight showing that I'm showing them my marginal gains, them gradual improvements, and really just evolving and developing as a fighter, because that's what each fight you can only do. You can only take one step at a time, one fight at a time to really progress and when it gets on the title levels, that's when we're ready to take it all.
Well, Francis and Frank clearly have big hopes for you. One thing we've talked about before is visualization, which I know is a key component of your success. And I can't think of anywhere bigger than to visualize, any bigger moment than walking out in front of almost 100,000 people at Wembley Stadium. Tell me about the visualization component and what you've been doing to get ready for this fight night.
For this one, for example, like you said, Wembley and walking out there, I've never been to Wembley before. This is not my first time to actually be in there and to even box here. It really is something that I'm going to cherish, and it's going to propel me forward. But I think that's what it's all about, doing and being in these positions now, so that when we are there headlining one day ourselves, it will be nothing new.
Have you visualized the knockout? How does it feel?
It feels great. Oh, obviously it does feel great.
Excellent. Okay, let's move now to our next boxer, who will be fighting on the free-to-air section between 6 and 7 p.m. Glittering amateur here, double back-to-back European youth schools champion and a European bronze champion as well. Royston Barney Smith, who is also trained by Tyson Fury's former trainer, Ben Davison. A lot of people have very high hopes for you, Royston. Your first career professional fight was at Wembley Arena. It was an absolutely impeccable fight. You won every round. Your second professional career fight is at Wembley Stadium.
It's amazing being here. It's good to soak up all the exposure and such a big platform, and showcase all my skills. And I'm looking forward to Saturday night and showing everyone what I can do.
Absolutely. Well, how does it feel to know that the likes of Francis, Frank are really crafting your career because they really believe that you could be the next British superstar? Well,
I believe in myself. I can honestly be the next British superstar, and so does my team, like Ben and Lee Wiley and the rest of Queensbury Promotions. That's why they're giving me the chance to be put on such a big platform and showcase what I can do.
And you're training with a number of world champions. We've got Lee Wood here today. Tell me what it's like training with Tyson Fury's former coach and the likes of Josh Taylor, Lee Wood, and all these world champions around you.
Well, there's not a better atmosphere in the gym with the likes of Lee Wood. He speaks me through a lot of stuff. He helps me with a lot of stuff. We watch a bit of boxing together, and we also have a laugh outside the gym. And with Ben, even though he is a stern coach, he also knows when to have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a banter, and it's a good environment.
Okay, and I know you've got some pretty huge ambitions. There are going to be a number of former world champions in the audience, perhaps some people whose records you might have in mind breaking. While you have the mic, tell us what your ambitions are in the sport.
Well, my ambitions to be is the youngest British world champion, and it's going to be a very tall task, but I believe deep down I can do it, and if I focus well enough and perform the way I know I can perform, it should be a walk in the park.
So not just a world champion, but the youngest ever, which means beating Prince Naseem's record. You're 18 years old?
18, yeah.
And he was
21 and a bit. So I've got a bit of a way to go, but I feel I can definitely do it, and the light is at the end of the tunnel, and I can get the job done.
Absolute confidence there, and you showed it in your first fight, and hopefully we'll show it in your second. Too blessed to be stressed. Who came up with the slogan?
Well, my family did, and I've always liked it because on big occasions I've already rose to it, and I've always got the job done. So I've never been too stressed. I always get a little bit of butterflies, but I've never really had a lot of pressure on my shoulders to perform, because I always know I can do it without a doubt.
And some new fight gear for this?
Yeah, new fight gear. I got a box kit. Well, Box Fit reckons it's the best kit they've ever made. So you'll see it on Saturday night.
Glittering. Okay, so let's move to the pay-per-view section, which will be on ESPN Plus and BT Sport. Kicking off our pay-per-view will be a man who these days doesn't need much of an introduction, but Tommy Fury, part of the Fury family component to this fight, fighting under light heavyweight against Poland's Daniel Bocianski. First of all, Tommy, you've fought on some big cards. You've also been around your brother fighting at MGM Grand, T-Mobile Arena. You are used to the razzmatazz of all of this. But how different does it feel being part of his homecoming, fighting under his card at Wembley Stadium?
First of all, just want to say big shout out to everybody who's here. Thanks for turning out. I can see there's a lot of people here, so thank you. And as far as boxing on the same show as Tyson, I've always seen him box at these big events, in Las Vegas and stuff like that, Klitschko fights and whatnot. But to box on the same card, it's an amazing feeling. We're both gone through camp together. We're both doing a fight night together, so we know what we have to do. And the word I'm looking for is just blessed. I'm blessed to be in the position that I am now. 8 fights, boxing at Wembley. Just blessed. When does it ever happen? So I'm going to take it with both hands. And take the big opportunity that I've been gifted with.
Sounds like you're really enjoying it and you've enjoyed the camp as well. Your opponent is the toughest record you've faced so far in your career. He is 10 wins and 1 loss. Why was it that you wanted this type of a fight in front of all these eyes at Wembley Stadium, this tough test?
I just feel like all the way through my career, I've been boxing all my life. And because I did something, for 6 months that was outside of boxing in Love Island, I feel like nobody takes me serious, nobody thinks I'm a fighter or anything like that. So I really want to prove that all this occasion stuff, 94,000, it doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not scared or new to being in front of a camera. It doesn't bother me, and I'm really looking forward to having someone come over who's there to win and comes to fight. He's 10 and 1. He's only lost to a person who was 20 and 4. So it's a good step up for me. But I believe me fighting them type of people, you're going to see the best version of me. And I truly believe everybody's going to go away from Saturday night thinking, where's Tommy Fury gone and who's this new guy? Because, we've knuckled down in camp, we've took it back to basics, not trying to do too much stuff. I'm just going to go out there and show everyone how I can really box. And that's just the plan for Saturday.
As you mentioned, there are a lot of naysayers. I think a lot of people forget that you're 22 years old and you've achieved so much already, and you're also quite big for your age. I think people forget that you're 22. You are making your way through the division. What is the goal in boxing? What do you believe you can achieve?
First of all, I look about 42. Let's get that right. And the goal in boxing, it's always to be a world champion. I've said that ever since I started boxing, because in my mindset and my eyes, right now, through everything that's happened to me in my whole life, I haven't achieved one thing. I've not achieved anything. Because Love Island's what it is, these millions of followers is what it is. I thank and love everybody who follows me, but in my eyes, I've not achieved anything because it's nothing that I wanted to achieve. When I first was a little lad and I set out, I never said I want to be on Love Island to become a social media star or an influencer or anything like that. I said I want to be a world champion and a champion boxing. So until I've done that, I've not achieved anything. And Saturday night takes me one step closer to, being on the way for that. I've got a good opponent coming over, looking to put on a good show. And yeah, the goal is to be a world champion, and I believe wholeheartedly I can do it, because I would never say something if I didn't believe it. And I believe it with every bone I've got. My dad up there, my trainer, all my team, we know we can do it. So just stay dedicated, right mindset, right fights at the right time. We're going all the way.
You mentioned not achieving anything. Is it tough being Tyson's brother?
Listen, it is what it is, isn't it? I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bad thing. It's obviously not. I mean, I'm boxing at Wembley in front of a massive crowd. It's a positive thing being a boxer as well. I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I'm in the position that I'm in, and I get a lot of good opportunities from it. But again, it's only me in the ring fighting. And come Saturday night, Tyson's not going to be able to do the fighting for me. He's got his own fight to do. I've got to go in there, put my fists up, and get the job done myself.
Okay, and let's address the elephant in the room that I'm sure the press want to know a little bit more about. Jake Paul did say that if you get a big knockout in this fight, it would make it much more exciting to put your fight with him back on track. Does that change the approach that you go into this fight with, the statement performance you want to make?
No, definitely not. I don't let anything come into my mind to disrupt what I'm going to do from Saturday night. Jake Paul's not come into my mind once. And I hear all this talk about him saying, he doesn't fancy the fight anymore, then he fancies the fight, then I'm a potential opponent, then I'm not. Get your facts straight before you speak my name, and if you want to fight, let's get on and do it. I'm ready whenever, because I don't need a training camp for him. It's very unfortunate what happened to me in December, because if December had gone through, you wouldn't have been hearing his name ever again in boxing, because he is useless. He cannot fight, and there is no chance in hell he beats me, and I do not even need to train for him. So let me get Saturday out of the way, put on a massive performance, a great knockout, what I'm planning on doing. And when I'm on the couch eating pizzas, burgers and donuts, what I love to do, let him give me a call and I'll be there the next day, because I do not need to train for him. This man can't fight. That's why he's dodging everybody a boxer. That's why he's fighting 60-year-old UFC fighters that nobody wants to see, because he got very low pay-per-view numbers last time. If he wants the big numbers, he knows where to come. Let's get it on. But until then, don't talk if you don't want to fight.
When you say massive performance, he did get a pretty big knockout in his last fight. Do you want to better that?
I'm not interested in what Jake Paul does. I mean, it's easy to get a knockout over somebody who's over the hill and 45 years old in Tyrone Woodley. It's very easy to knock him out who doesn't move his head or throw a punch. You know, I've got a live opponent coming over. You know, he's young. I think my opponent's 26 or 27. He's 10-1. He's coming for a fight. And he's an actual boxer. These guys that Jake Paul is fighting, they're not boxers. This guy that I'm fighting on Saturday night would wipe the floor with Jake Paul. He's probably been fighting all his life, had a ton of experience. So this is a hard fight for me on Saturday, and Jake Paul would ever be. So, you know, if he wants to fight, he knows where I am. I'm not hard to find.
And finally, your dad this week said that he sees shades of Triple G in the way you fight. So I'd just like to know a little bit more detail. It's obviously a huge compliment, Gennady Golovkin. What you think he meant by that, and what are those shades that we might see in your fight on Saturday?
Yep, thanks very much, Dad. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Thank you, yes. And that literally comes from what we've been seeing in the gym. You know, David's been in camp, David's been watching me spar, and I've been holding me home with some very, very good fighters. And in sparring, you know, when I take that in Saturday night, when I take sparring into the ring, you're going to see what I can do. Because I've been in there, we don't get people that I can knock over in sparring and have easy spars. I've not had one easy spar my entire life. 15 and 16 years old, I was sparring Tom Aspinall, who's now number 2 in the UFC or something like that. I've been full trade-offs with him, and I was about 10 stone. You know, I know what I've got inside me. I've got heart of a lion, balls like King Kong, we all have in this family, and you're going to see it. So only me and my team know this, and in each fight, you're going to see more and more of that. And shades of Golovkin, it's a very nice compliment, and yeah, I see it myself.
On a mission. Best of luck, Tommy. Well, let's move over now to our local lad. Oh.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
David Adelaide. So, thank you for joining us from London. Now, we talked a little bit before with Carol about visualization. I want to talk a little bit about manifestation. David, I haven't seen your tattoo yet. Can you just show us the tattoo you got on your arm when you were young and tell us when you got it and why?
I got it a few years ago. Like you're saying, manifestation, I was just manifesting it now. So I got wherever I came from as a child, where my mum came from, and then the childhood dream. So I was a kid putting up boxing gloves in front of Wembley Stadium just to say one day I'll be fighting there. And yeah, like I said, April 23rd we get to live it. So
I can see the smile.
Yeah.
How does it feel to know that you have brought your dream, that you painfully put into your arm, into reality?
Yeah, it's good. I'm not headlining it, but I mean, I'm doing it, aren't I? So I'll be headlining it in a few years, God willing. And I mean, like I said, there's one thing ticked off. So
are you already thinking of the next tattoo? Perhaps holding a belt?
yeah, I'm gonna get my legs done next. So no, literally.
with a green and gold belt?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a leg sleeve and God willing, start taking off them sort of boxes and, you know, just living it.
Okay, so you're living out a dream here on Saturday, fighting Chris Healy from Stockport. You haven't faced a southpaw in a while. Any concerns there about the fight itself?
No, he's got 2 hands, 2 feet. I do. Fair play to him for taking the fight. Thank you. We had God knows how many opponents pull out. You know, he wasn't who we actually chose, and we had some undefeated fighters coming in, but they didn't want to take it. So Chris stepped up and took it. So thanks to him. But in terms of being a southpaw or orthodox, it don't really matter. We're gonna get in there and fight either way. So no, it don't really matter for me.
2 fights ago, you had a controversial decision win. You really made up for that in your last fight. It was an impressive performance at York Hall. How do you want to better that? And what kind of statement performance would you like to make in front of the huge crowd on Saturday?
Just keep moving forward at the end of the day. Little bump in the road, we got over it. And like I said, these nights that I have ahead of me, I think I'll start proving my worth. Like Tommy said, he sees me in the gym. I mean, people see me in the gym, and like John Fury said not long ago, I wouldn't be in these places if I was no good. And if I wouldn't put me on the shows, I wouldn't get signed, I wouldn't be with certain people, I wouldn't be rubbing shoulders with certain people if I was no good. You know, they see what I do in the gym behind closed doors, everyone sees how I work, so that's what it's about. And a lot of fighters call me out, they do, but when these fights get made, nobody really takes it. And I'm starting to learn that now. Boxing's a mind game as well. Everyone's saying they want to fight. And then when fights get made behind closed doors and it's about let's get it on, all of a sudden fights don't get made no more. So everyone's got a big mouth until it's time to start punching. And that's the thing. I'm starting to realise it all, so yeah.
And you've become one of Tyson Fury's regular sparring partners. You did the whole training camp with him in Morecambe. What's it like getting in the ring with Tyson, taking his punches, and did you give him a few good ones of your own?
Yeah, it's good work, good sparring. Like I said, there's times when people finish sparring, everyone's end up clapping because it was good rounds. And I said I'm like a fresher sitting in a uni class with people that are about to graduate, and I'm getting the experience they're getting in my first year. So it was like pretty good. But like I said, I'm a sponge. I just go there and I soak everything up. I just listen to what they have to say, listen to what they have to tell me, and just go from there.
What kind of things did you learn from Tyson, from Sugar Hill, not just in the ring, but how they live their life, how he is mentally? What did you take from it?
Everything. You know, how to approach camp, the training, the sparring, the rounds, tapering down, when to wind things back up, letting the body recover. Just the small things. I mean, we knew it already, but it's always good to see how the people that are there now do it. You know, there's one thing hearing, there's one thing doing it yourself, but there's another thing experiencing it with the people that are doing it right now. So I just kind of go there with them and experience it.
One of the boxers you've been calling out recently is Nathan Gorman, who is a cousin of Tyson Fury.
I stopped calling him out though. You know what I mean? It's about me now, so I'm not really going to call him out. Credit to Nathan, he's a nice guy, he's got a good family. There ain't no hatred there between me and Gorman. It's just a fight I think will be good in the future, but I'm going to stop calling him out now. It's about me. Yeah, he's a cousin to Tyson, Tommy and that. But they know I'll kick his ass, you know what I mean? It's all love.
Well, I'm sure Nathan and the family will be watching, so it's a good opportunity to show what you can do. After your last fight, you immediately asked what the commentators, former world champion Richie Woodall and John Rawling, had to say about your fight. This time, you're going to have David Haye, Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno, so many great boxers, former heavyweight champions of the world watching.
Easy, isn't it? No pressure.
How do you feel about that, and what are you going to be asking them after?
No, you know what? I only asked after my last fight because damn, they cooked me my sixth one, boy. The one that I had, which was like everyone's saying controversial, I got cooked. So I thought, what are they going to say about this one when I kind of stepped up? But
excellent.
you know, like you said, I got the big boys watching this fight. It's crazy because I used to watch these guys. My dad used to watch these guys when, you know, I was a little kid running around, and now they're commentating on fights that I'm fighting on. So it's a bit weird, but it's good. It's a good weird.
Excellent. Well, Francis, you can see how much Tyson, Dillon, and many other boxers have inspired these gentlemen. Any last words on this group and what you can expect from them?
Just, you know, hope everyone get in there and you know, give these guys their support. You know, early doors, they're opening a huge show, and you know, guys, you know, I said it at the start of the presser, but you know, just soak it up and enjoy every second of this, because this is a truly special event, and we're all thrilled that you're part of it, and you are the next gen, the next group of guys that we hope to be back here within, you know, a few years' time. So, you know, enjoy it.
Excellent, thank you very much. So we'll do the changeover now to our 2 title fights on the undercard. No face-offs because we don't have the opponents today.